right now. How am I sounding? You guys, we still working out some technical stuff. So I said, come on and check out some new things. We're getting ready to rock and roll for February the 2nd. I promise you, I'm gonna get all this stuff worked out. I got the comments open, so please let me know if you get any feedback, type of echoing, anything like that. It'll definitely help me out. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna adjust some things on my end. Okay. All right. So today I wanted to come on real quick, and I want to talk about something. Man, maybe it's gonna be good to you, but I definitely know that it's good for me. I went out, with my family. My daughters came home. My twins, they came home, and some of my son-in-laws came home, and when they came here, and we went out and had brunch. And, naturally, just through the conversation, questions came up and all that good stuff. So the question came up about, beginning and ending relationships. When do you end them? And why do relationships end, or should they end? And all that type of stuff. But which I thought was good. I'm gonna take a break here. I'm gonna see if I can adjust something because I got a real bad echo. Y'all bear with me. Right here. Okay, I'm just gonna work through this thing. Let's see, try this here. Okay, now this is it. We'll figure it out because I'm not going to be on here long. But this is one of the things I thought about. I said, the reason why people struggle in relationships is because they don't know how to relate. And I want you to think about that for a second. See, years ago, I made this post. It was like a blog, and I said that everybody that's in your circle, all your the ones that you call your friends, and even the ones that you call your enemies, they're here for a purpose. Okay, I see your comment. Thank you. Okay, everybody's here for a purpose. Your enemies got a purpose, your friends got a purpose, but then sometimes you come to a point where you have to, you're wondering, when do this relationship have to end? Maybe they did something wrong, or maybe they're not meeting your expectations. And I promise you guys, all of that is natural. All of that is just part of the deal. But see, what I want to talk about more specifically is, one second. I check. Okay, I'm gonna try this way because I was picking up something, and I do apologize. So hopefully this sounds better. I'm going to adjust it. I don't know how it sounds good. I promise you this, it sounds a whole lot better to me. I promise you, I was not gonna be able to get through this thing with that in my ear, that echoing. So I had to leave. Had to turn off a broadcast. But I am here, and I'm a whole lot better. And we're gonna get through this thing. So here's the deal, guys. Because I promise you, I'm not gonna stay on here long. And I feel better because I promise you the echo would drive me crazy. So if you looked at me and said, hey, this guy is not really, firing on all cylinders, a lot of it has to do with the night. A lot of it has to do with the fact that it's been a long day. But I promise you, 99% of it had to do with the fact that I had an echo in my ear, and it's a whole lot better. So welcome back, man. Aren't you glad you got an opportunity to do it over again? Man, I'm so glad. So I am ready to do it all over again. And hey, I learned something else today. So I want to come on real quick and talk about, man, what I learned today. And I hope everybody had a this Sunday. I hope, listen, if you are in North Alabama, I'm not sure how it was in your area. We got up to 60 degrees, and man, I was able to spend some time outside. And if you guys, anybody, y'all know me, I love to spend time outside. I love to spend time with my family. So I had an opportunity to do both of those. So yes, today is a great day for me. But listen, I wanted to talk about, how this day unfolded. I know I kind of got into it. I don't know how it was sounding to you guys, but listen, um, please leave me a comment if you ever hear any type of echoing or feedback. And sometimes I can hear it, sometimes I can't hear it, and we're trying to figure this thing out. And so all of your help is going to be appreciated. So definitely a blessing. But let me just get into this thing. See, the truth of the matter is, the reason why your relationships suck is because of you. Yeah, and I think I've been trying to play around with that, and I know I said maybe I probably sounded as if I was rambling, and I was really deciding how was I going to bring this subject up. See, I already knew in my heart what I wanted to talk about, man. But sometimes it's just so hard because I'm a hard personality. God made me that way. But see, the reason why your relationship sucks is because of you. See, see, here's the deal. Let me just explain what I'm talking about. See, some of you guys never really learned how to work well with others, and that's the truth. See, that's the type of stuff that we really need to talk about, but you really don't want to talk about. See, the truth of the matter, if you go back into your history, you're going to see that not only have you been having issues with your counterpart, your spouse, your significant other. No, not only have you been having issues with that person, but if you go look back in your work life. Let's do that. How good was that? See, what I'm gonna say is, and I don't know who you are. I don't know who I'm talking to. But what I'm going to say, and I'm going to stand on this, is that you can look back at your history and you can go from your relationships and you're going to realize that you struggled in your relationship with your spouse, your counterpart, your significant other. You're going to look back on your work relationship and you're going to realize that you struggled in your work relationship. See, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's somebody you know. Maybe you're a person that, man, that you got it good, and but you connected with somebody that is just horrible with relationship and is putting up, just draining you down because they never figured out how to do it. See, let's go back a little further. Let's go all the way back to maybe they were kids, and they never even learned how to share toys. Maybe they if you go back further enough, then you go back, even on the playground, they had problems on the playground. They were that type that if they had a ball, they was constantly just pulling off. Like this is my ball, and I'm gonna take my ball. I'm gonna go home, and instead of their parents correcting them and saying, "Listen, you have to learn how to play well with others," They just let that slide, and now they 30, they 40, they 50 years old, and they still hadn't figured out how to play well with others, and they're killing you. They're putting a drain on you. You see, see, maybe, maybe, maybe it's not you, but maybe you just tied up with a person that just never figured it out. They never just got it right. Everybody gave them a pass, and they, I don't know, maybe they were only child and didn't have to work with others as when they were growing up. But at some point, they just never got it, and now they're trying to relate with you in a relationship, and you catching hell, catching hell. See, the truth of the matter is, there's something that we should have got that's going to help us as we grow older, as we grow up. When you are, when you're a child, it's really important when, all the way back in the time when you're in a daycare, man, it's important for for you to learn some coping skills. Maybe it's another name for it, but there's some skills that you should have picked up when you were a kid, and now you're a grown adult, and you still struggling with it. And now you're in an adult relationship, and you're struggling because you still think that just because it's your ball, that you can take it home at will and not have to and you don't know how to share. And see, guys, I'm telling you that I see this all I see this all throughout relationships, and there's key things like that. So there's some hope. But I got Miss Shauna. I'm going to add her on here. We're going to have a conversation. And so let's see, get her in here. Miss Shauna, you are muted and you are live on the broadcast. Unmute your mic and Shauna, listen, it's okay that you don't have your camera on. I do want to make sure that you mic'd up and we ready to go. Now we're talking about relationships, and we're talking about how the reason why there's a lot of reasons why, but one of the reasons why that we struggle in relationships is because we didn't really learn the basic relationship coping skills when we were kids, and now we've grown up and we're in these dating relationships. We're married and we're our spouse is catching hell. So what do you want to add, or what do you have a comment or question that you want to add to the broadcast?
Well, for me, I just think you have to communicate, because I'm talking about me. I can be thinking a thing and won't speak it. And then as soon as that other person say that thing, I'll be like, I was thinking that. So you have to communicate. That's a must.
Absolutely. Now hold that thought. Let me connect something right quick. So hold that thought. I'm gonna be right back with you. Okay. All right. So let me check your audio. Say something again. Let me check your audio.
I'm here.
Perfect, man. Okay. Hey guys, see, I told you I'm still learning this thing. I just realized I didn't have something plugged up, but okay. Hey, so do everybody a favor. Okay, I know man, it's gonna be great for you to do this for me, but just because I did have that technical problem, go ahead and repeat what you just said, so I make sure I'm with you 100%. Okay.
Okay. Well, for me, communication is big. it's easily said than done. Cause I'm talking about myself right now, because I can be thinking a thing and don't speak it. As soon as the other
Absolutely.
person may say it, I'll be like, I was thinking about that. But you never know how much that can help to keep the other person from having to sitting there thinking about this situation that we may be talking about, and you
Mhm.
already got the answer, or at least some
Absolutely.
input. So you just can't say you communicate. You got to understand what you mean by saying communicate.
So
So
so so you have experienced situations where this is actually what we're going to call a lack of communication. And if I'm
yeah,
understanding you correctly, you found in your relation, and if I'm wrong, you correct me. But you found in relationships where you actually you're thinking something in your head, you're not sharing it with your partner, and you found that can actually cause a drain on your relationship.
yes, I mean not just a my partner. It could be a work relationship with my coworker. I mean my children. So
Absolutely.
yeah, you have to. Yeah, lack of communication is not good. So you have to communicate. It's a way to say what's on your mind in respectfully. The person might not agree to it, but if you don't speak what you're thinking, they don't have a chance to think about that from your point
Absolutely.
of view.
And I'm glad you said that, because the truth of the matter is, a lot of times we focus on, um, you know, well, number one, we talk about this romantic or marriage type relationship, and then we can go into the friendship, type relationships. But then, we have work relationships, and one of the things that I notice is that all these relationships can be managed, you know, primarily the same way.
Hmm.
And a lot of it is just, it's proper communication. And that's why, I want to share about what was, what I learned this weekend, because I realized that, I don't care if it's your husband or, your coworker. I don't care if
Hmm.
it's your wife or your best friend. If
Right,
you don't have proper communication, then it's gonna frustrate the hell out of the other person.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I mean, just imagine, you're wondering, why is it that I can't keep a job?
Hmm.
And I look at these people and I say, man, you don't know how to relate to people.
I
You don't, I mean, just think about that person. Maybe you know somebody personally, or heard of somebody, but I'm thinking about men and women who always losing their job, and they come back
hmm.
and they're saying, well, they made me mad, and
Hmm.
they didn't treat me right. And then that same person is saying to the spouse, "Oh, you made me mad. You didn't treat me right."
Hmm.
So because they haven't learned how to relate to people. Just imagine, you have a to the us church going folks. There's a such thing as called church hopping. Have you ever heard of that?
I have, yes.
Yeah. Okay. You ain't no church hopper, are you?
No, sir.
All right, so the people who don't know what a church hopper is, that's a person that just hops around going from church to church. I mean, we're not talking about visiting. We're talking about, somebody who for some reason they got upset
Hmm.
with some administration, at church, and they get upset and they say, you know what, I'm gonna take, me and mine, and we're gonna go somewhere else.
Hmm.
And see, and then give it, 6 months, give it 6 years, and that person is gonna be moving again,
Yep.
because somebody's gonna offend them, and then they're gonna go. And see, listen, Miss Shawn, we're doing this thing in relationships as well.
Hmm.
So one of the things that I noticed is that it takes time in a relationship. It takes time to build a relationship. Now, when I don't, once again, I don't care if it's your a friendship. I don't care if it's in your marriage. It takes time. Now, check this out. Now, this is gonna be a little heavy. You ready?
Yes.
Some marriages end too soon because they just have not given themselves time to learn each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's true or false?
I think that's true.
See, this is what I believe. I believe that and let me give it to you this, because I shared this with someone earlier. You can be, just imagine you in a relationship, and you got two relationships. You got a person that been in 10 relationships over the past 10 years. So they average time is a year. They back to back.
Mm-hmm.
10 different people. 10 different men, 10 different women, but they was in 10 different relationships over the past 10 years. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got another relationship. Now this person was in a relationship, one person for the past 10 years. Just one person.
Mm-hmm.
See, my philosophy is this. See, on the without proper knowledge and proper understanding, you would say that the one that's been in the 10 relationships over the past 10 years would say they hadn't learned anything. They're just going from one relationship to another, and they haven't learned anything. But see, what I want you to understand is that both cases, that person is 10 years older.
Mm-hmm.
So they got 10 years smarter. They had an ability to fix some things. Now, I'm not saying across the board, because another thing that we learned is that time does not heal. Time doesn't heal people. We used to say, time will heal it. But no, time doesn't heal things. So when you put the work in, that work will heal you. Okay, but in this case, what I want you to understand is that, what we're looking for and what we're hoping for is that time is going to make us better. We need time. We need to put time in. And what's happening is, in that first scenario with that 10 relationships over the past 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
that person just simply said it's not worth the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. But when you add up all of those years, when you add them up, they still got 10 years of life.
Yes.
And see, and in those 10 years, they had a chance. They had an opportunity to get some things straight. They had an opportunity to make themselves better. They had an opportunity, to say, what, the next time, man, because I got some wisdom behind me. The next time, because I got some knowledge behind me. The next time, because I got more. I read more books. I did some less self-care. I went to some seminars. I did some counseling.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to understand both scenarios. They had 10 years to work with. And you're gonna say, man, but that 10 relationships in the past 10 years, man, that's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Man, surely, yeah, it may look ugly on the outside,
but
on the inside, they was getting some work done.
Mm-hmm.
They was getting some work done. And see, and so what's important here is to understand that, we all got a measure of time. We all got the same day, and we got the same hours in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to relationships, you got to be mindful. You got to be thankful. And you got to be grateful. Shauna, so tell me, and because I wanted this to be a short broadcast. We're getting on to we got 27 minutes and a 30-minute broadcast, and I want you to have as much time as you need. But I ask this question a lot, and if you follow me, and if you may have heard me, and if you disagree, that'll be okay. But what would you say is the number one reason why a relationship ends, or what is the number one relationship killer for you? And that for you.
I'm still gonna stick with that communication, that lack of communication, and that one or both parties just decided not to hang in there because everything takes time. You just spoke about time. So if they didn't communicate what was going on, they automatically gonna give up. So if you want something to work, you gotta be able to communicate with that person and know that it's gonna take some time. You can't just give up. You just can't give up on something that you want, you love. I mean, that like I said earlier, it's not just with my partner, or it could be with my children, my coworker, my best friend. So you just have to have that communication and just know that some things take time.
Absolutely, man. I definitely love that. They have always said communication, finances. Money is a big strain on relationships, and the truth of the matter is, and I'm gonna say this before I get off, and I know we're gonna have to come back and talk about this, but there's a lot of stressors that can come on relationships. There's a lot of communication, money.
Yep.
This one that's coming up lately through social media is submit or not to submit to a man. That's a big one, and I think I want to. I don't think I want to. I know I am going to tackle that one day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you this: regardless of how I come at that issue,
mm-hmm.
this is what I want you to know, and this is what I want everybody else to know that's going to watch it. That submitting or not submitting in a relationship, is just one other long list of stressors that's going to be in a relationship.
I agree.
Once you get over that, there's still going to be something else.
Something else.
And guess what? You ready?
Yes.
You're going to always have something that's going to try your relationship.
I agree.
I think that's a good place to end.
Yes, it is. I agree with that.
Shauna, thank you for joining this broadcast. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I done got smarter. Shauna, you definitely blessed me, and listen, make sure that if you haven't already, make sure that you go and like and subscribe to the Power podcast. Okay, my son and I, it's launching. The official launch is gonna be February the 2nd, 2022. So we got 2022.
All right.
Okay, so that's a powerful number. That square number, that power square.
Yes.
This is gonna be the Father-Son edition. We're gonna have a lot of stuff going on that day, and but make sure that you go and subscribe. Make sure that you ring that bell so you can get the notification. But then also make sure that you stay tuned on February 2nd You're gonna get a chance to win some free stuff that we got. I'm talking about all money and prizes, all that good stuff we're gonna be doing. So make sure that you tune in. Also, go to the Power to Facebook page if you haven't joined that. Definitely do that, and it'll be a blessing as well. So listen, man, this is where we get serious at. The relationships, the husband and the wife, the male, the female. We are being attacked in ways we never have before, and this is where God is saying that it's time for us, the remnant, the ones who know better, the ones who are called, to gird ourselves up, make ourselves strong, hold that high standard. Okay, and because it's time to go to war. And one thing that we're going to be doing on this broadcast, one thing we're going to be doing on the Power broadcast, the Fight for the Family broadcast, we're gonna be putting on the whole armor, and we're gonna be ready to war. So I'm gonna enlist you into this army.
All right.
Because we need all the soldiers. So sign up, enlist, because we're getting ready for war, and I need all the soldiers I can get.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, thank you. So we are officially out. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.